Hi, welcome to Blah Blah Blah, the show where we talk about life in general.
Yes.
We have been doing a retrospective of the first 3 years of our show, and we had intended it to be a 3-part series. Alas, it's become a 4-part series because we just have too much great material.
Because you viewers called in and you wanted us to do more. Thank you.
All right, if you're not annoyed enough to change the channel yet, give us a few minutes. Now, I'd like to introduce the cast of Blah Blah Blah. I'm the host, George Bernardo. To my left is Rob Isley.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. And to his left is Jack Albert.
Yes.
And finally, Chris Martez.
How are you doing today? Thank you for tuning in.
Anyway, we take this whole 2-hour episode, long episode, divided into 4 parts in one day, so we're a little road weary. But we are going to do a highlight here of a topic called rock and roll fantasy, in which Jack talked about comparing the reality of a rock and roll group to the imaginary.
What people think it's like.
Yeah. Here it is.
It's great.
First example, big
Speak
time.
for yourself. Sorry.
Quick.
Stretch limo to the gig. Small time, pulled muscles from lifting band gear. Different kind of stretch. Big time, backstage gourmet catering. You can just imagine the table laid out with the pate.
Little sandwiches.
Little
Yeah.
sandwiches, you know,
Yeah.
the bread folded over.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Little pigs.
Small time, getting stuck with the check after the rest of the band has left. It's like, okay, who had the gumbo, you know? And the big time, groupies screaming, "I love you!" And small time, an old drunk guy screaming, "I love you!" Just somehow it's, you know, doesn't mean the same thing. Big time, concert promoters offer you $50,000 to play their venue. Small time, bar managers grudgingly pay you $50 to play to empty bar stools. Big time, you have a 1-hour sound check, 3 hours before the show. Everything's taken care of, every little last detail. You're going to sound perfect. Small time, your friends tell you at the end of the night that they couldn't hear the vocals. Big time, your people hand out backstage passes to certain special fans. Small time, the girl you were making eye contact with is long gone by the time you finish packing up your gear.
And lady learned that she was actually blind, but that's another thing.
And a lesbian.
One more indignity.
Alas, if you've watched Blah 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 in the past, one thing that we didn't talk about in the first 2 shows is the introduction to the show. Now, we've been pretty consistent with the introductions for most of the 3 years, but on the first couple of episodes, you got to loosen up, and then you don't have to move it. Yeah, okay. This is called a live Zoom. Take a shot. All right.
He's loose. Loose as a goose.
Yeah.
With the
so,
juice.
what was I talking about? Yeah. We
Running in.
Oh, in the first show, we didn't know how to start the show. So I'm going to show you a clip of the beginning of that, and just you can see just how comfortable we are with the beginning of that first show.
Where have you been? You've been where you felt you should be. Can't you see? Were they the ones who made the rules? Who deceived?
Yeah, well, after the first 1 or 2 shows, we decided we needed to do something different to open the show. So what we came up with is this idea of us running into the studio as if we're just arriving in time to start the show. And that's the way our opening has been, not today, but for most of the shows, almost all of them. But what you may not know is that originally that was supposed to be only part of a longer introduction, which we never made.
Oh,
Right.
that's running outside and stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
we had planned on doing something individually where you were at home and Rob was writing music and you were in the shower and I was watching a porno movie or something.
Do
and
what we do best.
And then we look at the time, we're like, oh my God, we're late, we gotta go to the show. And we start running, and then we all meet back here.
And then we run in and we change.
Right.
And we change in the dressing room, and that's where, no matter what we're wearing on the show, it makes sense because we change. And then we run, and the director's going, you gotta get in there, you gotta get in there. And it would have been
never
really funny,
happened.
but we never did it.
Because we suck.
but we should do it. It would be fun.
It's not too late.
But after a few entrances, we always entered myself first, then Rob. Remember the one time he moved the whole stage?
Right.
Jack,
It shook
and then
like-
Chris. But after a few shows, you started livening up with the little antics of your own.
Yeah.
And let's watch a couple of those introductions, those run-ins, back to back here to see the different things that Chris tried for anything for a laugh. And Chris just never stops. Did you run with that on your head today?
Yeah, it was in my album.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't know what the inspiration of that was for, but just say it was just sheer goofiness
Yes.
of the comedic
Inspired
genius,
lunacy.
Directly related to the amount of caffeine consumed
which was a lot.
beforehand.
I think the amount of caffeine that I consumed over the 3-year period while doing this show, for this show, has been the equivalent of probably 2 or 3 kegs worth. Actually, what's a couple of the shows that we talked about?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee when to say
Coffee was a
when.
big one. Coffee
Yeah.
was a big topic.
Rob had
Blah, blah, blah.
Rob had a good line. Whenever I talk about blah 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 to people, I always use Rob's line about coffee when to say when. And here's the line I use. We all have our own interior filters for how much coffee we should have. Rob, what is it for you? What's your limit?
Well, I established a limit a long time ago at work. We had a big coffee pot, and I would tend to finish the pot. And about the time I'd get this chest pain would be, I'd say that, actually that wouldn't be the last cup. There'd be only one more after that. But then I would cut it for the day. So that's the pain.
So I always tell people, the one more cup, because they start laughing, and then you go one more cup, and then they get it. They know what blah 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 is all about. So you still drinking a lot of coffee at work?
Well, at work, maybe not so much. And I don't drink it a whole lot when I go out, but
How are the heart palpitations?
I happened to be at a place last night where I don't want to give a promotion unless they let us play there, so I'll hold back. That's a
Therefore,
carrot.
there will be no promotion.
Let's put it this way. It's in Vienna, and they sell a lot of coffee, and they have great entertainment there. So it's a wonderful place.
yeah.
But the main thing they sell is coffee. And, here it is like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but I'm going to get the coffee. There's like 50 brands of coffee. I'm going to get, what am I going to get? I'm not going to get like a burrito. I'm going to get coffee. So anyway, I had a couple cups, and I was feeling pretty high around 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Which makes it going to bed at 5 in the morning, of course.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
So what time did you get up from that?
6.
So you're all right then?
Refreshed.
I'm fine, yeah.
Refreshed.
Yeah.
How are the heart palpitations?
60 full minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
But they're good minutes. No REM.
Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned this the first time we talked about this, but I had this friend of mine who started complaining that she wasn't sleeping well. And I was like, well, do you drink a lot of coffee? And she goes, about 15, 16 cups a day. I go, well, maybe that's affecting your sleep. And she's like, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's I don't know what it is. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Get a clue.
One of the biggest surprises about an antic that we pulled that people really loved, I thought it was sort of simple-minded, and probably you'll agree when you see it. But we talked about compact discs, and without getting into much further, we set up this little thing to explore one of the problems with compact discs, and I think you know what I'm talking about. But here's the clip. So what I want to do is, if we could, I want to see how long it takes the cast of blah, blah, blah to open up a CD.
5
We could get,
days.
if we could get a clock rolling in there, and let's go ahead and see how long it takes us to do it. Ready?
Ready? Here.
Go.
No shrink wrap, sorry. Cheating.
Oh.
Okay. This should be easy. I mean, I went to elementary school.
George, I thought we were going to get the
I got a little corner. I got a little corner. My fingernails aren't sharp enough. I think. You know, the rub method just doesn't work. You think it would soften up and split. Is this worth opening?
Oh, I just broke it.
I got a free CD of somebody once.
Hey, I'm getting there.
And since I didn't pay for it, it took me 3 months to play it because I just didn't want to deal with the shrink wrap.
Shut up, man. I'm trying to open this. Oh, wow. We got one. Looks like.
The
I'll
key
tell you what.
method. See, this can leave horrible scratches on your
Why don't,
jewel case, but
Chris, why don't you help me out with that one since you're doing so good? I give up.
yeah, violence is the answer.
Why don't we go ahead and we're going to take a break and look at southbound Suarez. If give us a break, maybe we'll have this thing open by the time we get back. We'll be back in just a minute.
Stay in shape by running with our guitars. We like to stay in shape as band members so that we can be physical and tough and nice looking on stage. Hope you dig it. This next tune is called From Life. Time's moving so slow today, but I don't mind. I said, what could I be missing out on anyway? Yes, I want to be sure that this don't happen anymore. So I close my eyes to see nothing's there for me. For the first time, yes, I'm sure that I know exactly what I want from life. I know exactly what I need. It's so right. I know exactly what I want from life. I know exactly what I need. Time's moving so slow today, but I don't mind. I said, what could I be missing out on anyway? Yes, I want to be sure this don't happen anymore. So I close my eyes to see nothing's there for me. For the first time, yes, I'm sure that I know exactly what I want from life. I know exactly what I need. It's so right. But I know exactly what I want from life. I know exactly what I need. Yes, I want to be sure that this don't happen anymore. So I close my eyes to see nothing's there for me. For the first time, yes, I'm sure that I know exactly what I want from life. I know exactly what I need. It's so right. I know exactly what I want from life. I inside of me. Said it makes it hard to go out and face like there's something deep inside me. What I need. All right, thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here tonight in the studio audience. It's for our little show. It's our first time playing out in a studio audience. We want to thank you very much. And we'd like to thank American University and everybody who's been a part of this.
Just to give me an idea for another topic, I can't believe we haven't done this. Copy machines.
Xerox copy machine.
Xerox copy machines.
I used to be a Xerox copy maintenance man.
Oh
Back
my
in the
God.
early 80s,
How
back
fun is that?
back in 1985, I was a Xerox copy maintenance man
Really?
for a big, I worked for a big accounting firm, Ernst & Winnie. Now they're now Ernst & Ernst, but I was a Xerox copy key operator.
I can just see you getting all frustrated. You coming to fix it and you're screaming and yelling.
So we have this copier at the office. It's more than a copier. It actually accepts print jobs from computers. It's this great thing. And we replaced the 1,000 with the 5,000.
Oh.
You know, they never call it the 3 or the 8. You know, it's always something 1,000. you know?
1,000, right.
Six-
And I
6290.
said, this looks the same as the 1,000. The guy says, oh no, it's much better. You know, the number of hours between repairs is like 10 times.
10
I
minutes.
say, so what you're saying, it's a much hardier machine, requires very little maintenance. Oh yeah, fine. The guy's in there every other day.
Really?
It's just as bad as the other one.
Maybe he mistook it for the 500. It was only half as good.
Not when he wrote the bill, though, I'm sure.
Oh god, yeah, the things, it's tens of thousands of dollars.
It's a money
It's
hog.
amazing.
One of our probably highlighted episodes. I think this is the one we submitted for the prize we have here. This is the hometown
For 01.
Video Festival Award, which we won the. You don't need a close up of this. It's fine.
Everyone's
Yeah.
seen it.
We
Yeah,
won
yeah.
the best entertainment talk show, non-professional.
Did we win last year?
In the country. We didn't win this year though. I don't know what the hell. I sent them the wrong show. I sent them all about film. We're going from PG to R here. No.
For the
But
children
oh yeah,
watch the show.
we talked about taking pictures. We talked about a kiss, a hug, or a handshake.
Oh,
how
that-
we greet the opposite sex,
That was great.
and
Good
we talked
skit.
in about backseat driving.
Show the skit about the kiss, hug, or a
Yeah.
handshake.
Yeah.
That was classic.
Yeah, we had a little
because,
setup.
because it shows the audience our personalities.
Right.
So, can we show that one? You get the cue.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. It's so great.
You're welcome. Thanks for
It's great show. Excellent.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Pleasure as always. Thanks for being here.
Hey.
And you were
Great show.
Hey.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
And then,
and you
hey, very much. Hey, thank you so much for coming.
Nice having you here.
Give me a hug. He's regressed.
Something in that water.
Now I knew that pictures was gonna be a good topic.
Picture taking techniques.
Yeah. And the big thing about the key thing is if somebody says, if you give them the camera and you say, "Could you take a picture?" and they say, "I'm not good at taking pictures," what's the answer?
Believe them.
Believe them. That's a nutshell. But just believe them. But yeah, here's a couple of clips of some of the things that Rob and Jack and Chris and I had to say about taking pictures. Should perhaps we have a license you have to get to take pictures?
I think that would make my heartburn a lot less severe.
What are the things that can go wrong with picture taking?
Well, I brought some examples. It's funny you ask.
Sorry.
My role today is to talk about the technical aspects of taking photographs. And we have a picture right here, I think it may be coming up on your monitor, in which,
Hey, there it is.
in which the subject of the photograph should take up most of the photograph,
Okay.
not the incidental background. And here we have a picture of the band, but it looks like a real estate photo or a used car photo.
Okay.
So there's that. Next is the whole area of wide-angle lenses. Most of the little Instamatics you have on little cameras, they have what's known as a wide-angle lens so that you can fit a bunch of people in when you're taking a picture. But the thing is, no one should get very close to the edge of the picture and close to the camera, because then your face is stretched out as if you're being warped into an alternate dimension.
No!
Yeah. Or your plastic surgeon was a hack.
That's supposed to be you, huh?
Proctologist.
Another issue is backlighting, which with a lot of cameras these days, the flash goes off all the time, and which is good because it fills in the foreground in case it's bright background. And here we have an example of me in somewhat silhouette, where the background jumps out at you.
God, I thought that was me for a second. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're so popular.
Yeah, I thought I was you for a second, too.
It's gonna be with us.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have the whole subject of focus, in which we have a perfectly innocent subject here who is completely unaware of what's going on with him. And another problem with having a picture out of focus is, have you ever noticed when some ordinary citizen, someone who's not in the media, dies in a horrible accident? He was one of the people on the plane, or he was improperly polite to a moose, or something like that. They put the picture up on TV, and it's always this horrible out-of-focus picture. And so when the picture's out of focus, you look like you've died.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it's especially bad in this case. Poor
You
Tom
look like
here
you're going to.
is well, that's same. You know,
Yeah,
I like
going
to
to.
feel free in the time-space continuum.
Okay, cool.
But Tom, poor innocent Tom, he has a nice smile, and that's another thing. In those pictures they show, the guys are always smiling as if they don't know they're going to die.
What about some of the pictures you got, Rob?
Oh, let me show. Now, these aren't so much technical. They're just things about, like, you want to keep in mind when you're taking pictures. The first one I have is an example why you want to bring an extra change of clothing after taking a picture. It's rather obvious from that. A little bit damp. Second one here is you want to make sure your subject wants their picture taken. Otherwise, you better have a fast exposure, because it could be an action shot that you didn't intend to be an action. My third one is make sure whatever you wear is flattering to your body, especially if you're going to have your picture taken. Otherwise, I guess you're just at your own risk in terms of your lifestyle and social clientele. And then my last example is be careful about what picture you want to include in your job resume.
Oh boy.
Do they put pictures on job resumes?
I
very
failed to bring
sad.
in some pictures when I had a lead role in my 5th grade play, The Music Man, of Winthrop. And Winthrop goes up on stage and he sings a song. And I had that role, and I practiced and tried, and I got the role. And I had all these wonderful pictures of my dad's thumb. Me, I'm on stage, perfect picture of the stage, but then my dad's thumb, you can even see the little lines in his thumb.
Wow.
Right, I mean, it was
That's what I call depth of field.
it's perfect, but my dad's thumb. So I forgot to bring in those, but that was another poor picture taking technique upon where you see a lot of thumbs and wonderful pictures, wonderful moments of your life.
Gary, Indiana,
Gary, Indiana,
not Louisiana, Paris, France,
New York or Rome. But, yeah, I play royalties for that now.
If I tried out for the role today, I wouldn't get it because I don't remember the song.
Okay. Moving right along. No.
What else are we talking
What
about?
the heck was I just going to say? Backseat driving.
That's why we didn't win this year.
Backseat driving. Oh, boy. Threw me off.
We are.
You guys
This
talk
is
about
dead
something here.
time.
That's right.
Backseat driving. I know what I was going to say. One of the things that, if you're a big watcher of blah, 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 which I know millions of you are, is that there's levels, there's texture. Whereas when you watch a television show, comedy, and we're not saying we're better than anybody, obviously,
'Cause we're not.
We're not. We're on this little cable station.
I am.
It's not like we're just not saying. We just aren't better than anyone.
Yes.
But what we have is we have depth, because there can be multiple things being said, and you don't catch it the first time.
Right.
And that's why multiple repeated watchings of blah, blah, blah can be just as or more entertaining than the first time around.
That's why we run so many repeats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we want people to figure it out.
There's stuff said under the cuff,
It's like
under
watching
the mic.
2001 Space
Under
Odyssey.
the
You've got
arm.
to see it a few times. But the reason I brought that up is because this is a typical thing where just that little quip that happens sort of under somebody's breath is the thing that's the funniest. And this is from talking about backseat driving, and Rob's going to have a good point here.
Under the mic.
Yeah,
Any
right
final
after
thoughts
the air
about that?
conditioning.
About
Put them in the trunk.
put them in the trunk.
If you notice that they're very tight, just put them in the
Yeah,
trunk.
you never hear the term trunk driver.
Turn and say,
Only in New Jersey.
You gotta like it.
I'm just banging this for time here.
It sounds good.
It sounds. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, we didn't get to this yet. When we all did our skits on the first few shows, each of us did a skit except for Jack. And Jack, who still has not seen the skit that he did. It's about what is it about, Jack?
Slippers.
Slippers. So here is Jack talking about slippers. As what was your title, sir?
I put on some sort of phony accent.
Okay. Here it is.
That's the title of it?
Hello, I'm Jack Albert, and I wanted to say a word to you tonight about an issue which is very important to me. These are distressing times we live in. The stock market is down, gasoline prices are up, and we see the values which made this country great being chipped away day by day. Although I have been known to have contributed to the erosion of some of these values and traditions, as court records will amply attest to, there is one time-honored tradition to which I have steadfastly adhered. That's right, I am referring to the open-heeled slipper. As I'm sure you are aware, Americans in recent decades have adopted the gauche habit of wearing shoes within their domiciles. This unsavory practice can lead to the tracking in of all manner of vermin and parasites, not to mention the excrement of beasts too foul to mention here. Equally unacceptable is a déclassé habit of traipsing about the home in stocking or, God forbid, bare feet. This, of course, inevitably results in the permanent soiling of one's socks, and in the case of bare feet, the introduction of the aforementioned parasites. Yes, a good pair of slippers is a civilized man's best friend. In fact, I have had these very slippers my entire adult life. These slippers have seen me through endless pacing of my mansion's hallways during uncounted sleepless nights, a multitude of trips over rough asphalt to take the rubbish bins out to the curb for pickup, and scores of cycles through the washing machine to keep their odor to within federally mandated limits. Some may say that I should retire these venerable companions. They may point to the looseness of the leather uppers. They may be critical of the holes gradually making their way through the multiple layers of the soles. But I say to them, the gentleman's honor is tightly bound to his slippers. As you contemplate the message I have imparted to you this evening, let me leave you with a few verses from the Bard. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why, her breasts are dun. If hair be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there are more delight than in the breath that my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. Yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. And as it is with a fairer sex, so it is with the fairer footwear, slippers. Thank you, and good night.
We want to thank you all for tuning in for the 4th installment of the retrospective of the 3rd anniversary of blah, blah, blah. Here again is our plaque for the 2001 award winner as Best Entertainment Talk Show. We're very proud of this. And we look forward to many, many, many more years of blah, blah, blah. And we hope you'll be tuning in. So we'll see you next week.
Please tune in
Thank
again.
you. Good night.
Woo!